Hey there, welcome back to another episode of Stax of Wax. This is Stax of Wax Volume 11. That's right, I've been doing this dumb show for this stupid amount of time. For the uninitiated, Stax of Wax is where I go through my record collection A through Z, alphabetically, top to bottom, and show off all of the records that I have in my collection. Which, now that I say out loud, is fairly redundant. Anywho, the last time that we left off, we ended with the R's, so we are starting fresh into the S's. So, kicking things off, we have the Sex Pistols, Never Mind the Bollocks. This is a reissue. If I'm not mistaken, it was reissued in like 2014 or 2015, along that timeline. I know that this was in the batch of the first records that I ever bought. When I was younger, I used to adore this record, not really knowing that there was a lot of better punk out there. But for its time and what it accomplished, it is a really great record. To me, just knowing who Johnny Rotten became, it really taints this album to me. Nothing says punk like racism and fascism. So yeah, definitely tainted in my opinion, but you know, back in the day, I really did. I loved listening to this album. You get all of the classics, Pretty Vacant, Anarchy in the UK, God Save the Queen, Holidays in the Sun, No Feelings. Obviously, I'm not upset that it's in my collection because I think that I bought this when I was like 15 or 16 years old, but I don't think that I've spun it in at least 3 years at this point. Just kind of sits collecting dust, but you know, here it is. Standard black vinyl. It is a reissue. There's nothing special. So yeah, that is that album. So let's move on to something a lot better, or at least a lot better in my opinion. A record that I spin a lot, that would be Silver Jews, American Water. Obviously, David Berman, at some of his best songwriting abilities, this album just comes together in such a magnificent way. I hate using this phrase, but there are no skips on this album. I actually probably know all the lyrics front to back at this point. I've listened to it so many times. And while there are many other Silver Jews records that I would like to own at some point, I'm glad that this is the first one that I got. Once again, this is one of the Drag City reissues that they did. Nothing crazy here. Once again, standard black vinyl. Actually, I think I bought it right before he passed away. I think that's what it was. I think I bought it like literally 2 or 3 weeks before he passed, so like right when Purple Mountains came out. This album just holds a really special place in my heart, and I truly love it dearly. At some point, I would love to be able to try to collect all the singles that were released alongside this album. But yeah, I do have a forever spinning on this record if you've never heard of it before and want to learn a little bit more about the history of David Berman, Silver Jews, and that whole time period for these musicians. I definitely recommend checking it out. Alright, up next we have 3 records from the exact same artist. Probably one of the bigger collections that I have for one particular artist, and that would be Sleep. We've got their single, Leagues Beneath, then you got Sleep's Holy Mountain, and then their latest release, The Sciences. Starting off with Leagues Beneath, this is a Third Man Records release. It is just the one song, and it is only single-sided, but there is actually a pretty good reason as to why I bought this, even though it is the single side for a 12-inch. So obviously, you have the music on this side, but on the other side, hopefully you can see it. I'll try to reflect the light nicely off of it. Maybe I'm doing a good job here. There is a really cool etched picture on the back, and I don't own many etched vinyl like this, so when I saw this go down pretty cheap in the price range, decided to pick it up. It's also a really solid single. I would love to get the other one, Clarity, at some point, and I believe there might be a third. I could be mistaken on that, but for right now, I'm happy to own this. Like I said, bought it for a really cheap price, so I cannot complain. And I mean, it's Third Man Records. They really do not go wrong with their packaging whatsoever. They're one of the best in the game at that. So yeah, that's Leagues Beneath. Let's move on to Sleep's Holy Mountain. Stoner metal to the max. This crew just really put it together on this. Way more put together than Volume 1 in my opinion. Plus, I love the artwork for this record. I forget the actual artist name. I know it's like right here, but I don't understand the initials and what they stand for. But really a fantastic job with the packaging here. This is yet again a reissue because I'm pretty sure that the originals for this go for an absurd amount of money. But yeah, you got the crew hanging out right there. You got the lyrics for each song on the back, and the best part about this record, it is on like a maroon purple vinyl. It looks awesome. It totally goes into the theme of this album in and of itself, the weed, you know, all the different trippy colors and stuff. So yeah, I'm very, very, very happy about owning this. I didn't realize that the label who originally released this record, Earache Records, did do the repress of this, and it turned out freaking awesome. I do listen to this record a lot, so kudos to them. And of course, their latest release, the 2018 record, The Sciences. I'm pretty upset that I didn't hop on the limited edition of this record when it first came out, which was on like a tealish green record. Once again, done by Third Man because they did actually release this on their own. A surprise album came out on 4/20, if I'm not mistaken, of 2018, which is very on brand for this group. This is a gatefold, beautifully packaged. Got a nice little breakfast there. And of course, the back here with the track list, and the records themselves are 180 gram, all on black vinyl, but you know, they sound awesome. Especially for an album like this, you want it to sound as epic as humanly possible because this is one of the greatest stoner metal bands of all time. So yeah, that is the Sciences, that is my sleep collection. I will be picking up Dope Smoker at some point. I just need to find the funds to be able to do it first, and I'm sure I'll be hopping right on that. Okie dokie, next up in the S's is Sputter Land by Slint. One of my favorite records that I own. Bought it pretty early on. This is one that I truly believe should be in every single person's collection. Unless, of course, you hate the album, in which case, don't buy it. That's totally up to you. But in my preferences, this is a must-have. One of my first forever spinnings was on this album, and I'm very happy that I ended up doing that. Every single track on here flows so nicely. It is an epic roller coaster of a journey from front to back. Yeah, it was a very cheap reissue. I'm pretty sure I bought it off Amazon like 4 years ago, which now I regret because I don't like buying things off Amazon anymore. But you know, it is what it is. I'm happy to have it because I just love this album and I really couldn't wait and I was broke, so, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do on occasions. But yeah, man, one of the all-time greats. Go check this album out if you haven't, and if you haven't seen my Forever Spinning on it, go check it out. I think it's pretty interesting. I did a pretty decent job on that for as early on as it was in this channel's history. So yeah, Spider Land. Next up, we have two from one of my favorite Philadelphia artists currently, the hardcore crew Soul Glow. We got the Blank in Me Is Me, which you can obviously look up for the actual title of the name. And then we got Songs to Yeet at the Sun, one of their records from last year. But yeah, both of these albums absolutely slap. If you love hardcore, you will love these guys. They are just unrelenting. Seriously, I don't think I've understood any of the lyrics at pretty much any of the points throughout any of the records that I've heard from them. Sounds like gibberish, but when you look into it, it is incredibly poignant, talking so much about racism in America and throughout the world, and pretty much what the black community faces on a daily basis. It is a very raw look at everything that is going on in America at this point. This record in particular was one of my favorites of 2019. This one released by SRA Records. Bought it on their website, and I got the exclusive gray marble color. Kind of hard to tell there. It is gray. It is kind of marbly, you know, but yeah. The second track of this album, titled 32, is just one of the most incredible hardcore songs in the past decade, utilizing hip-hop elements to their already unstoppably loud sound. Seriously, the bass kicks on this, and the switch in the middle is just freaking absurd. I highly recommend checking out this album if you like hardcore, and I mean, I think you'll love it. That's just me, but I think that you'll love it. And their latest EP, Songs to Yeet at the Sun, one of my other favorite projects of this past year. This one released by Secret Voice and then distributing through Deathwish, if I'm not mistaken. I pre-ordered this as soon as I saw it come available, and it's a good thing that I did because I got one of the exclusive colors. It is single-sided, so you got the logo on the back here, which looks great, and then the actual side that you play also sounds great. These 5 tracks just rip. There's no other way to explain it. It is just unrelenting and will never give up on you. Except maybe for the track 2K, which is in the middle of the EP here. Definitely utilizes hip-hop drums and stuff like that, but still has the hardcore elements that it needs to have. To me, Soul Glow embodies what I want to see hardcore doing in the next couple of years, as they are truly revolutionizing the genre. Whether people are listening to it or not, they totally are. Anyway, that is enough of me blabbing about this band. Anyway, I can't wait to hear what they do next whenever it is. Slowing things down a lot, we've got Spiderbags, Someday Everything Will Be Fine. Personally, that'll be their self-titled or A Celebration of Hunger, which I'm pretty sure is just the exact same record, which just has different names at sometimes, and I don't really understand what that is, but whatever. I picked this up in my local record store, as they usually don't have any Spiderbags at all, and as soon as I saw it, I had to pounce on that opportunity. Some great country punk in here, just some awesome tunes about lamenting life and everything else in between. Throughout quarantine, you could not find me listening to any other artists but Spiderbags. They were just simply so relatable during that time, and I still listen to them a lot, but it was during that time period that I truly appreciated who they were as artists and the music that they were writing. Personally, 2 of my favorite tracks off this record are Oxcart Blues and My Heart Is a Flaming Reverse. I don't know if they're too niche and some people just don't like them, but I just truly find they speak to me in a different way. So yeah, Someday Everything Will Be Fine by Spiderbags. And the last record that I would like to talk about, since we have reached the 10 record mark, that would be Sunny Day Real Estate's Diary. Arguably one of the greatest emo releases of all time, this record made a statement when it first came out and still continues to do so to this day. Personally, I don't find this to be the greatest emo album ever. I can't really put the crown on this record, but regardless, it is awesome. Some of the best second wave emo to ever come out comes on this album, definitely sparking a wave for many generations to come. Personally, I would like to buy some of their other records at some point, and as much as I love this, and it is my favorite of theirs, I also do like the rest of their discography. But regardless, I love Love Diary, and I do spin this quite frequently despite its length and being a double LP. You got yourself a gatefold here on this reissue, and I simply love the artwork. It looks like it's supposed to be minimalistic, but when you really look at the details, it's not. And while it doesn't have that much shading or, let's just say, attention to detail, what it does do, it makes its point across clearly, and that's evident throughout the entire artwork on this album. I would love to see if there was like a booklet made for the creation of this record with all the art that was considered. To me, it just really enhances this album altogether, and it's one of the reasons why I bought it on vinyl in the first place. At first, I really only liked the song In Circles when I first heard this, but when I saw it at the record store, I did really fall in love with the album cover and the artwork itself, and that's really why I bought this. It took me a while to get into the record itself, and once I did, I really enjoyed it, but it was not an easy journey. Like I said, it is a double LP, all on black vinyl, and if you're looking to get into emo, I do recommend this album a lot, despite the fact that I do think that there are better first wave emo albums out there. This is certainly one of the best second wave emo albums, no doubt in my mind, and it spawned countless records to come after it, which all hold up the legacy of Sunny Day Real Estate in such a wonderful way. Alright, and that does it. That is this edition of Stax of Wax. Maybe you've heard some of these albums before, maybe you haven't. Whatever it is, I just hope that you enjoyed. If you have any questions about these records in general, just hit me up in the comment section below. Whether you own the record, are looking to buy the record, or just interested in general, just shoot me a message and I promise I will get back to you. Be sure to subscribe for videos like this as they come out pretty occasionally, usually once a month if I'm able to do so. Also subscribe for So You're Interested In, a show that comes out every single Wednesday and occasionally on Mondays, where I break down an artist's discography to give you a good place to start off with. And of course there is Forever Spinning, which comes out on Fridays, which is a video history essay on a classic album. And of course I'm always looking for new ideas, so just leave them in the comment section if you do have any. I do have a new show coming out that'll be coming out monthly starting February 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. I haven't decided yet. But yeah, that wraps it up. Make sure to listen to music on vinyl as much as you can. If that's something that you enjoy, go do it. Make sure to wear a mask when you go outside, and then support local record stores. Seriously, support local record stores and local artists if you can. They need all the help they can at this point with the pandemic raging on, so I'm sure anything that you can give, they will accept graciously. So anyway, I have blabbed on and bored you for long enough, so until next time, happy listening.